Welcome everybody, thank you very much for turning up. This is the first part of the interview section for the new upcoming 2v2 Mixed Faction 2v2 tournament. My name is Kurahi and with me is Ivan and CaptainSPrice. Hi guys, thank you very much for joining.
Hello.
Hello.
Guys, first question would be, tell us about yourself. What do you do for a living? Do you have other hobbies, or do you play other games as well?
Can you please first?
Yeah. I do play other games such as Day of Defeat Source, Battlefield 3, and also the occasional Total War franchises. For the most part, I think my main hobby is video games. I also sometimes collect special coins minted around the country or around the world. So other than that, though, that would be pretty much the amount of hobbies I usually go through.
I would have never seen you as a coin collector. Interesting. Okay, cool. Price, you want to say something about yourself?
Yeah, basically at the moment, I'm studying in the university, already fourth year, and I also like the same thing with when I am hobbies, the computer games. Most of the part, I also enjoy it, those very old game titles on PS3, like Resistance or Killzone 2. And after those two games, I basically started playing the Company of Heroes and playing still Company of Heroes to this day, Cap. And
Cool. Have you ever played The Last of Us, Price?
I think I played actually the demo basically the cracked version. So not even spend money.
All right.
Everybody cracking games.
Okay. Well, The Last of Us is my favorite game, single player wise. So I can really recommend this game to everybody. It's, from my point of view, one of the best single player game campaign ever. Okay, cool. Thank you very much for sharing this. So for me, question 2 would be, well, you're both top level 1v1 players. Do you see big differences skill-wise from 1v1 to other game modes? And then following question would be, what is your opinion is more exhausting? In my point of view is playing Code 2 is, it really stresses out physically and of course as well mentally. So that would be my second question.
Wait, who's answering first, Cap?
You can decide that up to your own. I don't care.
Okay. One first.
Alright, no problem. Yeah, I would say the level of difficulty between 1v1 and regular team games is that team games require a lot of teamwork with the teammates that you have playing 2v2, depending on if it would be a short 2v2 or a long 2v2. Most of the time, though, it'll be a long 2v2 unless you have a very large skill cap between your opponents and yourself. And I'd say it's a little more difficult in 2v2 due to the fact that you have more units on the field to micro, and you also have to watch out for your teammates' units whenever things are going on in very big engagements. You're also using double the amount of commanders you usually would use in a 1v1, so you gotta watch out for extra abilities that could happen at any time when you're playing the game. So I'd say it's a little bit more exhausting to play 2v2 compared to 1v1.
Price, your opinion?
If I basically compare 1v1 to 4v4, it's my opinion, from 1v1, basically with creating some kind of build orders and prepare yourself all the time for any kind of situation is gonna happen, your opponent getting some kind of quick light vehicle. All they basically have to do is calculate the time when this vehicle is gonna arrive and prepare as quick as possible the counter or half of this counter already. And other thing is with team games, my opinion, if you're basically playing with a partner and you're basically preparing for some kind of tournaments or other stuff, My idea basically preparation is like first thing is like experimenting with the units, which basically would be like most effective on the battlefield, who gonna do the most damage, kill multiple skills, and basically makes the basically the enemies from other team like lose as much manpower as possible.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And
So,
okay,
did I understand you correct that you're saying that skill micromanagement wise is 1v1 is more tougher or more harder to play, but
yes, in my opinion.
okay.
Because basically you playing 1v1s and you can't get help from other players. You have to basically like everything you are alone, right? So you have to deal with any kind of situation alone.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Uh, good. Next question would be, how do you like the 2v2 game mode? I mean, how do you like the balance at the moment, the meta, and would you agree or disagree my opinion that at the moment it is the best game mode in the game?
One,
I'd say overall, 2v2 is a pretty good game mode. I'm personally biased, so I always think 1v1's better just because I'm more of a 1v1 player personally, but I do enjoy 2v2, so I think that would also be a really good game mode that people could engage in.
Mm-hmm. Why do you say 1v1 is still better?
The reason I say 1v1 is still better is that you sort of have to prove yourself a bit more, and it's a bit more enjoyable competitive wise because you only have to rely on yourself. And if you make any mistakes, it's just the mistakes you made,
Mm-hmm.
and you can deal with those and work to be better in 1v1. Whereas in 2v2, you got more of a crutch that you can rely on when you're playing the game.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Price?
so yeah, the same thing what I was saying like with actually I agree with like the part with Van Ivan like he said like 1v1s basically you have to like prove yourself right to deal with any kind of situation in the battlefield.
Mm-hmm.
Like you have to always predict what your opponent is gonna do against you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And with 2v2s, it's actually, in my opinion, like 2v2s, it's also like enjoyable team game mode. And basically, with your teammate, you can basically like create some good strategies. And basically, sometimes even so, like do some things unpredictable, right? Because 2v2 is like makes basically some kind of strange build orders of units that basically your opponents never saw or basically like never deal with that, and
Mm-hmm.
they will be like thinking, well, how to deal with that. So basically, so 2v2 in my opinion is like more like a experimental phase of playing the game.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You can surprise everyone with strange build orders.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually also more fun. Like, explosions, everything dying everywhere.
Okay.
More shit on the map.
Well, one thing about, in my opinion, why I say that the 2v2 game mode is the best game mode at the moment, that we have seen in 1v1 tournaments certain metas, and at a certain skill level, I would say top 100, you cannot win if you're not going one of those metas. You can now say, well, that's in 2v2 basically the same, but uh, it's just my opinion that 2v2 is better because you have to. The 2v2 mode is better because you cannot rely uh, only on your skill. It's kind of, I just kind of now change the argument what you guys are saying, and it's like yeah, because that what you guys are saying, that is why 2v2 is better. But this is not I'm right and you're right. It's interesting to hear your opinions. Uh, so will you tell us about your favorite faction and commanders in 2v2? For the viewers, Von Ivan and Price are making new kind of interesting strategies, so I'm pretty sure they're not going to tell us anything about those. I'm really hyped for that. But like, would you say
There's
pardon? What? What price?
okay. No, continue,
Oh,
continue.
Price is just getting excited about thinking of the strategies we're planning for the tournament.
Yeah, and I'm too. I'm hyped too, price. Absolutely. It's going to be interesting. Because well, it's not a big surprise. Nagano and Scotch are the number one seed. It's going to be interesting how you guys are going to beat them. So I'm really hyped about that. I'm looking forward. Now, but will you tell us a little bit about your favorite faction? Will you say like, well, I'm going to play more this or this, or is that top secret?
Or you could say it's top secret, but in general, when I'm doing 2v2s, I do enjoy the Soviet faction as
Mhm.
well as the USF faction. Both of those factions have been doing really good in 1v1, so I can translate them over to 2v2
Mhm.
without much difficulty. I do like the troll though a lot of the times more so in 2v2 than 1v1, believe it or not. Like I sometimes will use partisan tactics in the 2v2, or I'll go like a really weird ML20 strategy where you have a bunch of conscripts, DT partisans.
Mhm.
Mm, not me now, Kappa.
Okay, no worries. Let me ask the other way. What faction or commanders do you think your enemies will play? What do you think you will have to handle a lot?
Oh, that's a pretty good question. Um, well, I definitely think DevM will probably try to go a JU-87 base commander.
Hmm.
So he can't go Lightning War, but he can go. I believe there's one other doctrine that he can use with the JU-87.
Yes, I
So
know
he'll
there's
probably
one. Yeah.
try to utilize that due to the fact that the ability is a very powerful two-for-two ability to have
Hmm.
um, when you're up against armored hordes trying to push your flank. And then with Hans, I think he'll probably go OKW. He'll mostly do KT rushes. I'm not entirely sure on what direction he'll probably go, but if I had to guess, he might try to do something a little ballsy with the Pack 43 doctrine if he thinks we're not going to go artillery, or he might try to
Okay.
just go a regular OK doctrine that has either Jaegers or possibly a doctrine that gives the OKW howitzer as an
Hmm.
extra artillery support.
Hmm. Interesting that you haven't mentioned Sturmtiger.
Well, that's also a very good option too, but I don't
because
know,
I
that could
think
be risky for him.
because I think we will see a lot of Sturmtigers, in my opinion. But maybe we will see a combination. Yeah, it's interesting. So Devon will go Wehrmacht. Okay. Well, other teammates. Well, it's pretty clear. Nagano and Scotch, when they play allies, they mostly play always the same combination. Do you guys know that, or are you planning to counter that, or you just
Oh yeah, I think they have a very specific playstyle they go through. We
okay?
witnessed it while watching the Hans Devem versus Scotch Nagano
Ah,
games last
okay.
weekend, which were a great showcase of
Awesome,
the
awesome game.
games to come.
Mm, okay, cool. Um, Price, you wanna say something, or is that your top secret? Or
Yeah, I can also say about this strategies because we also like preparing ourselves. Like we wanna basically surprise all those people.
okay,
We can't
okay, awesome.
basically be like
All right.
selling all the build orders what we're gonna do against those people. Like I know for sure what we're gonna do today. They will be so very surprised.
Okay, good, Price. I'm pretty sure all the viewers will be really hyped for that. I'm hyped as well. Okay, let's just check for a second the map pool and commander bands. My question would be, would you change something and why? So I sent you the map pool. Let's just go through. Minsk Pocket, Rails and Metal, Walks Farmlands, Elst Outskirts, Crossing in the Woods, Hamlet, Simorsky Winter, and Moscow Outskirts Summer. So what do you think of those maps? Would you change something or yes, no?
I think overall they're pretty good. I mean, I
I
have a personal
think
bias from 1v1 against Moist Winter, but I can still, veto it since we have a veto process in order for the maps as well.
Price, you wanted to say something?
well, yeah, a little bit like I'm not enjoying this Hamlet map. It's too small and basically microing on this map is very difficult.
Mm-hmm.
I like basically open maps and basically like feel like very good with that. I can basically like make I can basically have more options to micro my unit tanks with all
Mm-hmm.
open maps.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So Hamlet, Price says change Hamlet because of it's a kind of a small map. One, if I would come now with a gun, point at your head, and say, hey, you have to choose one map. Which one of those maps you absolutely hate and you don't want to see it in this tournament?
Um,
Well, it would take
I
some
guess
time, so you have a lot of time to
I,
think
I,
now.
could, I could do some Moist Winter just because I could take it out of there.
Okay, Simaski Winter. Okay, interesting. So Hamlet, Price would say Hamlet and Simaski Winter. Why Simaski Winter one?
Because I'm not a fan of some of the deep snow portions of it, and also the huge ice that connects from your spawn to some of the main frontline points on the map. You got to be real careful not to micro your armor into it, or to get stuck on it while on retreat.
Logano's Command Panther.
Oh yeah.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so that's basically the reason. Interesting.
Mhm.
Okay, commander bands. Well, of course, Land-Lease, defensive tactics because of the Dushker. A lot of people have said like we should allow defensive tactics and get rid of KV2, for instance, which is interesting. Counter-attack tactics. What is counter-attack tactics? I'm
So it's
just.
KV1 definitely before.
No, that's not KV2. Oh yeah, that's KV1.
KV1.
Oh,
Yeah, with the For the Motherland.
yeah, for the motherland. No, I'm sorry. Defensive tactics instead of KV2, instead of Soviet industry. So many people said like Soviet industry is so strong. Um, then we have tactical support. That's basically the Calliope. Breakthrough. That was my call. I just don't like the Jagdterror. I'm sorry. I think it's too OP. Many people have criticized me about that. Special operations is because of the special operations is Jagd Panther, right? Yeah. Then we have Lightning
Special
War.
operations, yeah.
Lightning War. That's the call in the.
Tiger G43.
Pardon?
The Tiger and G43.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Jaeger Armor. That's the elephant with the Stuka dive bomb, which was also my call. Advanced Emplacement. I just hate this doctrine. I think there's no skill in in this doctrine to play in. Special Weapons Regiment. That's the basically only vetoed this commander because of penals with Vicar. That was the only reason, because we were so frightened, me and Hooligan, that people
Wait,
will abuse that.
Which doctrine again?
Special
That
Weapons
special
Regiment with the M3 half track, so you can get Vickers out and put it on penals.
Yeah, this is very abusive. And basically, I'm still thinking like, why actually Royal Artillery Regiment?
Because of the I forgot the name of it. I forgot it always, but you know the 4CP arty strike that you can put on in Fog of War. You don't need sight. You can just destroy any static axis arty.
To be honest, I rather basically deal with the special weapons regiment rather basically dealing with, the mobile artillery for braids. That one that Hans was using.
Land mattress, you mean?
Yeah, that shit is more broken.
Okay. Interesting, but don't you think that land mattress is very slow and the range is not really good? I don't know. I mean,
Yeah, but basically, imagine like yourself, like you putting headquarters, right? And basically, like working with combined arms with us two player, right?
mm-hmm.
And basically, like you trying at least like bunker yourself like on the right side, right? So basically, one mattress barrage and
Mm-hmm.
basically everything around you is dying.
Yeah. Okay. One. What is your opinion?
Well, I think the land mattress is very good unit at clearing out Axis support positions, but the weaknesses of it is the fact that it has a very limited range, so you gotta bring it up a little closer to the front lines of the battlefield. And it can also get, fun fact, pretty shot down quickly by Stugs or other medium tanks that the Axis have if they can rush around to it.
So there's a disagreement here in this team. Wonderful. Price, what would you say that at? It's interesting. It's just this is why I wanted to make this interview. It's awesome. Price, what you would answer now?
Yeah, you can counter very easily with the Shtug, but the issue is if you basically you're gonna face with good players that basically gonna be very hard covering those shits, this shitty land matches, which is insane. With killing all the infantry around this, barrage and 30 rockets landing on the current position, non-stop barraging thing, which is insane. And basically killing
Okay.
that thing is basically achievement of the year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I think somebody on Kotudo.org in the forums said that banning Lamitress would be good. Well, there's still time. We still haven't closed those discussions, so we can bring it up. But I think it's a little bit dangerous if we ban the Lamitress to ban, because then Brits have no arty at all, because the base artillery is just too weak in my opinion. It takes too long if you throw the grenades that you can destroy anything. But yeah, I mean, there's always one or two commanders which is strong, and it's never good to ban everything. But it's true that of course the Lamitress is a strong unit, and I mean, I think Price, you once told me that you would ban the ISU, as I can remember.
Yes, currently, you banned the elephant doctrine, right? But there's a still second elephant doctrine,
Yes.
which is Axis still can bring this elephant doctrine with P4 command tank thing, which is even more OP than without the scopes.
So you would see that if do I understand you right, that you say that the other elephant doctrine is stronger than Jaeger armor.
Yeah, in my opinion, before command tank that's giving us defense bonus, right? And you have also the elephant, which basically it decreases the bonus for the that's other stuff, defense stats for also elephant, which is harder to kill in front attack. Currently the Axis tanks Yak Tiger, elephant, right? If you basically gonna all other allies heavy tanks, they basically are already they're gonna simply die, heavy tanks, because the damage output those heavy tanks doing from Axis is basically 3-4 shots and those tanks dying, right? And you basically have to be somehow magically flank those tanks and kill them, and basically pray also those tanks won't be supported. The only way to destroy them.
Yeah, this is why we ban Jagdtiger, and well, because I wanted to ban Jaeger armor was I just think it's unfair to just get a scout plane and use these Duga dive bomb, which is just too strong in my opinion. You just can destroy anything. There is no red smoke. In the whole effect of fighting and of explosions and everything, you just can sometimes miss it. So I'm basically banning the Jaeger armor doctrine, not so much of the elephant. I don't think that the elephant is that OP. The elephant misses a lot. As you said, it's the frontal armor I think is not so strong as the Jagdtiger. So I don't like this Stuka dive bomb. Of course, with combination with the elephant, then in my opinion this commander is getting too strong. But what is your opinion?
I think it really depends on the situation and what factions are playing against what factions. I think it's okay to work against it. overall. But on specific maps, it could become if you don't have the right counters out.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, we can. That's the great thing about Code 2. You can discuss about balance and maps all the time. I would say we leave it like that now. Thank you so much for your opinion. Let's move to the next question. Or do you guys have to say something? Anything? I don't want to cut you off, but we can talk here hours and hours, I think.
Von, first.
I'm pretty satisfied with the discussion we've had so far.
All right. Okay. I try to, when I wrote these questions today, I try to think about. I want to ask every team kind of like the basic questions about map pool, commander bands, but as well, I wanted to go a little bit into the chemistry between people, and everybody knows that you guys have played a lot against each other in 1v1. But as far as I know, you played the first time in the team together. Is that correct?
It's actually played also some twos in the past.
Okay, but
yeah,
not.
we have done a few 2v2 team games in the past, but there's been a lot of time in
But
between.
not really like as Nogano and Scotch, like really in tournaments
Yeah,
together.
not consistently all the time.
Now I have a question. Has this long rivalry between you any effect on your gameplay, positive or negative? Like, you guys have played hundreds of 1v1s against each other. Sometimes you guys trolled each other, Price mostly, I would say. But does this affect you or not? That's just a question. I'm interested.
Von, first.
Well, I don't mind at all because I'm all for good competitive nature in 1v1. It makes it's one of the aspects of 1v1 that I highly enjoy when I get to have a lot of competitive games against other people. So yeah, I only bring my game face on when I'm doing 1v1 against other people, like Price, for example. But when you're doing team games and 2v2, I feel like it's more of a comfortable setting overall. So I don't really have any hard feelings like I do if it was more of like a 1v1 against each other.
I have the feeling, Vaughn, you're not taking the 2v2 not so serious than a 1v1 tournament.
Oh no, I still take 2v2 competitively serious. Don't worry, I'll still
Okay.
do it. I'm just saying, like, when I'm working with other people that I'm usually competitive against in 1v1, I don't have those same hard feelings against them if they're on my 2v2 team, because I need to rely on them as a teammate.
Yeah, that's of course the thing. You have to rely on Price, and Price has been stream sniped you. How much, Price? 1,000 times? What would you say?
Yeah, I could say like 1,000 times, like at least like 20, like maybe 50%, no, I don't know, maybe 20% of the games it was basically against Von Ivan, I have to say.
Could be, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 100%, 20% at least.
So, what is your opinion, Price? Will this rivalry have any effect? I mean, I guess you will say no, but what is your opinion there? I mean, you're playing the first time with Von Ivan in a tournament together. What is your feeling?
When I was like, as I remember, Von Ivan was like playing and streaming in the past, right? So all this time when I like stream sniping him, it was basically like you get basically an intel, what kind of build orders he had, and basically how to very easily counter them.
Mm-hmm.
And Von Ivan, I believe, was like doing the same thing, getting the intel.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, Von was the first person who basically showed all the people in the community how to stream snipe.
Yeah, I was one of the original stream snipers. Fun fact.
And now it comes back to you. Okay. I haven't asked you that question because I think when I wrote the question I was like, well, that's a stupid question. But when did you guys play Code 2? I think you played Code 1. I'm pretty sure. But Price, I never asked you. When have you started playing Code? Have you started playing Code 1 or Code 2?
Code 1. Actually,
Okay.
I was Code 1. I think it was a time when I was like the time PS3 2009 when I basically like finished playing multiplayer. I think the last game was before the Capra Fierce one was Killzone 2
Mm-hmm.
on PS3. And after that, it's like my friend like told me that there's like a because from Polish friends, school and other stuff, right? It's like an interesting game. You should like
Mhm.
buy it, right?
Mhm.
The first thing what I did is simply download the cracked version of Campaign Fields 1, which was only the US campaign. I finished that.
Mhm.
Actually was like enjoying that the campaign. And I was actually interested how would we like to play in the multiplayer, right?
Mhm.
And like when I started playing multiplayer, I think the first games was like 2v2s, right?
Mhm.
And after that, I met some new Polish friends from 2v2s who started playing 2v2s. And he told me that he had some, he had his friend, right?
Mhm.
And he told me that he's very OP in 1v1s, right? And
Mhm.
basically, she challenged me to play 1v1 against him, which was my first time. He
Mhm.
beat me a few times, and basically like laughing at me and showing this is your place, 2v2s, right? So I said to myself, oh no, you won't, right? And basically like I was starting to practicing 1v1s,
Okay.
and all my build orders basically was like created by me. Like I never basically was like a copycat from other players. I basically were like
Mhm. Mhm.
invading all my strategies on my own, right?
Okay. Good. So my next question would be: are you going to use TeamSpeak or Discord for the tournament? Um, Following question: why do you think it's important or not important to use communication in voice chat? I'm asking because Nogano and Scotch are not using any voice chat. Crossfire and Von Aston, I think, as well. So, are you going to use it?
Yeah, I'll
Yes.
probably be using voice chat to better coordinate and micro our units together.
Yeah, basically, without basically an information, it's like this. If whenever I have some kind of unit, like right somewhere on the map, like fighting against something, right? I can always like press the button show Vaughn. They're assuming they're like dying there, right? So whenever I can like click on that squad and retreat to the base,
Okay.
which is like which is the important thing from 2v2s. It's like the preserving units on the early game, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
And mid game.
So it's just faster. Have I heard that correct?
Yeah,
Okay.
basically the information like is you need basically like somehow they increase the speed between two players, the information they can exchange between each other, right?
Mhm. Okay. Well, it's your opinion. It's interesting. So many other top teams are playing in this tournament. I forgot to put a list of those teams out, but I guess you know, of course, that like Nagano and Scotch is playing, Van Aston, Crossfire, Theodosius, Thanatos, Helping Hands, Devon, U2, of course. Cold Beer Drinkers are playing with Brasras and Guard. Um, which one of those teams you actually don't want to meet in the tournament, and which one of those you guys want to meet? So, kind of, is there a special rivalry between any of those teams, or you're just saying no, we can't beat everybody?
To be
Uh,
honest, okay, one first.
oh, that's alright. But, well, I mean, I think we'll most be looking forward to the game between us and Devim and Hans, because I think
I
we'll
knew
see a
it.
lot of crafty strategies going on in those games.
Yeah.
Um, and when we play Nagano and Scotch, I mean, they're going to have a very solid meta strategy to use against us. We're going to have strategies they probably won't exactly expect, I guess is the best way of putting it. So we'll see how the tournament games turn out, but I have a feeling it'll definitely be entertaining for everybody.
Okay. Price?
I have to say, I'm actually only afraid against one team. It's basically predictably with
Oh.
Ultra.
Rutra. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I am basically 100% sure it will be fucking Blood Wars 100%. And This is only TMI, my friend, on this entire community.
Okay, interesting. But I guess, Price, you are also well happy if you play against Hans and Devon. Come on, be
No,
honest.
I have no issues to play against the Devon Hans. Basically, to be honest, like Hans and Devon, they have like they have like doing combined arms, right? Basically, you can predict what they're gonna do, like, right? And
It's your
for
opinion.
them,
I'm not
yeah.
commenting that, yeah?
And basically, like, what we have to do is make something unpredictable, like every single time against those kind of people that playing like making very stricted build orders, right? Because the Devem and Hans are like doing those very strict build orders of
Mhm.
units.
Okay. Well, basically, I'm out of questions. These are the questions I wrote down. So, based from my point of view, this would be it. You have any last words? No, it sounds stupid. You have. I mean, of course, if I'm going. Well, I wanted to ask you, well, who is going to win the tournament? I guess you will say yourself, right? Or you would say there's another team you will bet your money.
I mean, I think we got a pretty good shot at heading to first place, but obviously we're going to be dealing with some very experienced competition,
Yes.
so you can't just entirely leave it up
Mhm.
on the plays that you're going to have. You got to make sure to be able to also have the same skill level and mindset against your opponents that they'll have
Mhm.
against you. So it really depends on a lot of different elements in terms of skill, coordination, teamwork, strategy, and map choices, I think.
Mhm. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, the match is very crucial.
Yeah, the map is crucial. Yeah, that's true. Well, it's going to be well till the half finals. I think best of three. I think we put on half finals best of five and finals best of five. Um, I'm still not absolutely sure if we're going to leave it like that. But the good thing about this tournament was that we announced it so early, so that we have so much time still to change stuff. Um, I want to thank you guys a lot for making this interview. You were the first one. Last question: did I do well, or you say like no, something was wrong? You can say that after, because I'm still recording. But if you want to say it now, or you want to say it later.
No, I think the interview went perfectly. It had a lot of good
Good.
questions. Definitely pressured on the points for those answers that we
Thank
would
you.
give. I think it was a well-rounded interview overall.
Okay. Price.
I think also though it went well for you, Kappa.
Okay. Thank you very much. Okay, guys. Basically, that was the interview with One Ivan and Captain Price. Thank you very much for watching. We are going to do other interviews. I'm looking forward to, especially with the interview with Helping Hands and Devon, Nogano and Scotch. Some of the interviews will be in written form, um, because of the fact that some people are just not absolutely sure with speaking English. So I'm said to them like, "Hey guys, I wanna that you guys feel good." So like two or three of the interviews will be in written form. You will find them as well on the code2.org article. Thank you very much for joining this video. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope I see you soon. Bye.